Yo, welcome to episode 19 of Q&A. How you doing, man?
How you doing, bro? We're 19 episodes in. I can't fucking believe it.
Yo, I was reading that 90% of podcasts give up before episode 20. So if you get past 20, you're in the top 10%.
Well, I am leaving next week, but no, we're still doing it. My background will be different.
Where you
It'll be
going?
a much different setting. Go to Kuwait, bro. My mom might come up in the back.
That's
For all you
sick.
fucking losers that think I live in my mom's basement.
He does.
all
He's just trying to make up for it, you know?
Yo, seriously, bro. All these people think you and me just live in our mom's basements and this is what we do. Make pods about sports.
Bro,
Fucking
my
losers.
mom's got a way nicer basement than this. I wish I lived there.
Yeah, I know. Trust. You motherfuckers will see next week. I'm gonna bring my mom on the pod to talk shit.
You should. How long are you going for?
Go for like a month and a
month?
bit, you know?
Good for you.
Yeah, month and a half work. But it's just like, it's not vacay at all. It's like a normal life just over there.
Yeah. We're going to see you on the
It's kinda
fucking front lines in the war.
Hell
That's
yeah,
what-
baby.
That's what's really
Hell
going to
yeah,
happen.
baby.
For anyone actually
Free
wondering.
Palestine, Wait,
Pal-
what? We gotta clip
Palestine?
that out.
Palestine?
Free Palestine! All the Israelis.
Yeah, no Israelis
Yo,
watching this anyway.
Yeah, I know. And if they do watch it, I don't give a fuck, honestly. Like, I really just don't give a fuck. I felt like I didn't want to keep politics out of it. I wanted to keep politics out of this, and I do, and I will. Like, I'm never going to bring... I'm not a politician or a guy that's interested in politics, but I don't think it's that bad to say free Palestine. Free Sudan.
Depends who you ask.
Civil War.
Depends who you fucking
Free
ask these days.
Somalia from the pirates. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of things that should be freed. Free the Uyghurs from communist China. Like, there's a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? So that
Free
needs
LeBron.
to be freed.
Free LeBron from the fucking Lakers.
Whoa. LeBron's doing really well right now. The Lakers are doing really well too.
They're like 6-1 or something, but Rob Pelinka just sat on his
8-2.
Yeah, Rob Pelinka sat on his hands though for that fucking trade deadline. Did nothing.
Well, like, I don't know what you could have got. Like, what Zach LaVine would have been a great pickup, but he's hurt. So who could you get?
I don't want him.
Who do you guys want? Clay? Clay's
I
coming
want
off the
LeBron.
bench.
This is hilarious. I want LeBron to go to Golden State. That's what I fucking want. When I heard those rumors, I'm like,
wow,
do it. Just fucking do it.
Spit out my coffee hearing that.
It'd be amazing. Just to watch as a fan, you know?
It would be amazing if LeBron went to Golden State, and it would be fucking sick, bro, to have Steph Curry and LeBron together. I think anyone... That's like having Ronaldo and Messi, basically. Honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
On the same team, towards the end of their prime. Well, I think Curry's still in his prime. LeBron's towards the end of his prime. But either way, like, that would be fucking amazing. I did hear about that. I think it's a bunch of they're just casting away, you know, trying to see if anything will hook on. I don't know if LeBron will ever leave Los Angeles unless Bronny gets drafted.
Yeah, next year.
I just don't see the point. Hollywood's perfect for him. He gets to start building his next chapter of his life. His family clearly likes Cali because Bronny went to USC. I don't see why he would want to leave AD. AD's still playing really well. The support pieces that they've got aren't the best, but like, why does that matter? All they need is one other star, and they're right back into being like a top 3-4 team. And with this team, you know they're going to turn it up the last 3-4 months and probably end up like 7th in the West.
They already have. Like, if you look at it, bro, their season just started once they made no moves at the trade deadline. And they're like, oh shit, wait, the guys we have are actually good. Like, Rui's dropping 36, AR's averaging over 20 and 5. Like, the team's solid. I don't know what the fuck Darvin Ham was doing or what these players were doing, but we've been saying this all fucking year. This is when the season starts for the Lakers and contenders. You know what I mean?
Y'all love blaming Darvin Ham, eh? Let's throw the blame on someone.
Yo, their starting lineup.
Austin Reeves, not
Let
the
me show
shitty
you
play
something.
of D'Angelo,
No,
not the shitty play of
No, what?
Rui.
They're killing it. The lineup with Rui, D'Lo, and AR has not lost a game.
The last 10 games. The last 10 games they've been killing it. I would not use
that starting lineup has not lost a game. Why would you not play that starting lineup all fucking year if they've never lost a game? Like, he just keep injury. I get the injuries. There are lots of injuries, so I'm not going to fully blame him. But when they were healthy, play the fucking lineup that's undefeated. Fucking stupid.
I think it's ridiculous that you always throw the blame on the coach. Look at what's happened in Milwaukee right now. Doc Rivers is off to a 3-7 start. Coaches can only impact a game at any level. Football does not count, and soccer to me does not count. I think those two, from what I've seen in my
Football
life,
counts.
experience the most. Like the coach can affect the game the most. Football
Well,
and soccer. Those are my two. Basketball.
oh, I
I've
see what you're
played
saying.
and watched enough to know that players affect 95% of what's going on. The coaches just have to press a few right buttons.
Yes.
The players control everything in a basketball game. The coaches have the least impact in a basketball game than any other sport because
have
it's
to
the
play the
only
players.
sport,
Play the right
only
players,
sport in the
though.
world where one guy or maybe two, at most three, can basically take over a game and everybody else is just shooting or everybody else is just playing a simple role. Like Dallas Mavericks are the perfect example. Kyrie and Luka do everything. They control the ball like 65% of the possessions. 35% of possessions are the other guys sprinkling in jumpers, layups, pick and rolls. Those guys are getting a rest. But everybody else has just got to roll. Everybody else has got to roll. Whether it's their centers, whether it's the shooters, that's all they do. But the main two guys are Kyrie and Luka. Like, how much coaching do those guys need? I don't think they need much. Like Jason Kidd's
That's
job
fine.
is relatively easy, right?
That's fine, but you just need, like in the Lakers case, you need to play the lineup that's winning. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like in that scenario, Darvin Ham has a direct impact.
Bro, that's the substitutions is a big thing. But substitutions, how much is that going to affect a game?
Lineup changes, bro. It's chemistry. It's everything.
I don't think it affects the game that much, man. At the end of the day, it's LeBron and AD's team. What's going to happen in the playoffs? LeBron and AD are going to take the big shots.
Your others have to hit open shots. You know what I mean? Like if your others aren't
at
hitting,
the
they're not in
NBA
a
level,
rhythm.
all the shooters know their roles. Hit the open shot. All the slashers know their roles. Get a few cuts in, hit the open shot. Or the big men that just rebound and block shots. They know their roles. But in the game of basketball, it's the only sport in the world where you give it to a guy and you say, make a play. That's literally that happens so much in basketball.
Yeah.
Give it to your best player and let him make a play. We saw that with Kawhi with the Raptors. We saw that with Curry over the years. We see that with LeBron. LeBron's the best playmaker in the world for the last 15, 16 years. So you could just see he doesn't need no coaching, man. He really does not need coaching. Like a coach only needs to manage the egos a little bit, and then aside from that, control the subs. I don't think that's worth $10 million a year. But hey, Monty Williams gets paid a fuck ton, so who am I to say he doesn't deserve it? Like, it's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Ridiculous. I don't like blaming Darvin Ham, and I don't like blaming Steve Kerr. And all. Like, who does Darvin Ham really have on the bench that's going to come in and make a huge impact? Like
Rui.
Oh man,
they've put the Rui hit
the Rui
and he put AR back. He put Rui and AR back in the lineup, and they haven't lost. It's like, why weren't you doing this earlier? It's just stuff like that. I understand he was tweaking it, but it's stuff. It's what I'm saying. LeBron and AD need people who are going to hit threes, who are going to space the floor. Like that's where your coach comes in play. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, look, like they do try to surround them with shooters. Like clearly, that's their plot. They've tried to surround them with shooters, and they tried different lineup tweaks throughout the year. They have Taurean Prince. They tried a bunch of different guys, but I don't think this is going to make a huge difference for the Lakers, bro. They still played those guys together throughout the year and weren't winning. So I don't think this is the magical reason. I think honestly, LeBron and AD started turning it up.
No, they're fine now. Like, bro, this is the team that made the Western Conference Finals at this point. It's the same lineup. They finally care. They're at the point in the season where they have to care. There's no room for error. So they're gonna show out now. It's gonna be fun to watch, right? They're gonna start playing contender basketball. The only team they can't beat is apparently the Denver Nuggets for some reason. Something about the size of the Denver Nuggets just gets
no one can beat them.
Yeah, I know. So, which is fine. It's not bad to be second, but like hopefully someone else eliminates them, then the Lakers can just win, in my opinion.
Well, they might play them in the first round. We don't know how the standings are going to end up. It's like 3 games between first and fifth, I think, in the West, which is very scary because if you're Minnesota and if you're OKC, your eyes are opening like this, and you're like, oh boy, I might have to play the Lakers or the Warriors first round because the Warriors have been on a roll too the last 10 games. Yeah. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh man. I don't know if I want to play Curry, and I don't know if I want to play LeBron in the first round.
The West is bottom heavy.
Scary. It's heavy. It's just heavy from 1 to 10. And the Mavs are starting to play really well. The Kings are falling back out. So if the Kings start falling back out and they go to 7th or 8th, that's a great matchup if you're Minnesota or OKC. You're looking for that matchup.
They're not making it.
You don't want to play LeBron. You don't want to play Curry. You want to also avoid Dallas, in my opinion.
You want to avoid everyone except the Pelicans and the Kings. That's who you're fucking looking for.
And Pelicans are playing great in the season. So you're probably not going to play them. I like if I'm the Pelicans too, I'm nervous, man. I'm like, man, I'm playing the Clippers first round. Like these veteran teams are starting to play well in the season, and you know if they start playing well in the season, this is probably one of the only seasons where there hasn't been major changes in the trade deadline. So and there's not been major injuries. So all those veteran teams are going to be healthy. They're going to be fresh. They're going to be on their game, and they're going to be on a roll going into the playoffs. I don't want to play them because the last few years they've always gotten hurt. They've always had some sort of issue coming into the playoffs. And then Lakers, you saw last year, they started turning it up the last month, and everyone was like, "Oh, okay, let's see what happens." The next thing you know, they're in the Western Conference Finals. So you don't want to play those teams. I think it's actually scary that they're turning it up basically at the halfway point. Because we're a little over half, but I call it the halfway point All-Star break.
It's half.
I'm nervous, bro. If I'm in OKC, I'm like, crap. I worked so hard to be first, and now I have to play the Lakers.
They're fucked.
Like it is not a good matchup. And who's going to guard AD on that team? Like
if your 7-8 is Warriors Lakers, they're probably advancing. Probably.
That might be the first time that ever happens in NBA history too.
Yeah, both. Like it's the play-in idea. Hats off to Adam Silver was the greatest fucking idea they could have done because they created a mini playoffs like right at the end of the season and just so.
Let me tell you where it could get bad. Let's say the Lakers and Warriors go on a roll, but let's say the Kings and the Mavs and who's the other team? Oh, those are the last four. Now let's say the Kings finish seventh, yeah, and then let's say the Mavs finish 8th. Oh. Now you got the Warriors playing the Lakers, and they're both on a roll, and all the other teams are on a roll too because the West is so good.
The Warriors are losing,
so the Warriors have to play the Lakers, and now we don't get Curry and LeBron in the playoff together. So ideally, as a fan, I would want the Kings to start playing like crap. Sorry, Sacramento, start losing. I don't think anybody's that excited for Sabonis and Fox, even though I love watching them play honestly as a fan. But
but they're not Curry.
Yeah, I'd rather watch Curry. Yeah. I'm sorry. This is just how the NBA works. So hopefully the Kings start losing and they get to 8th or 9th. And then the Lakers and Warriors start winning and they get to 7 and 8.
This happened in 2021.
We don't lose one of the LeBron or Curry.
We saw that in 2021. They played in the play-in.
I know.
Yes. But whatever.
Warriors. And then I don't think either team can get to 6th because Mavs are starting to play very well. I'm like, yo, This is the problem we talked about in the year. Like it's gonna be who's gonna finish top 5. You don't even know. They might start getting really messy. It might just be OKC Mini at 1 and 2, and then from Clippers 2, and then from 4 to 10 is like 2 games apart. That is crazy. That's the parity you want though in the NBA. Like that makes it wanna be. That makes everyone
salary cap thing. That's So this is perfect. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun end of the season. It's nice. Football's finally done, which. Sad and happy. Good Super Bowl. You want this hit on that?
I think we called it, and I actually think a lot of people were kind of talking crap about the way I analyzed that game, but I thought I was actually spot on. Like Travis Kelce was a huge part of their offense. When he started getting going, their offense started getting going.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, it's pretty obvious that's like you need your best player and the guys that Mahomes has the best chemistry with to work. And they just started moving the ball in the second half, and I'm like, yo, they're gonna win.
Over. They're down 10. You're sitting there not even sweating. Like you're down 10 with a whole half left. Mahomes has this. It's like you've seen.
They played so bad in the first half too. They played so bad in the first half.
Awful.
The thing is, what I said, and I really do mean this. It comes down to like pure chemistry with your 2 best players, Brock Purdy, and his second best player is Christian McCaffrey. Right? Christian McCaffrey is a running back.
He did well.
Brock Purdy does not have an amazing repertoire he doesn't have that chemistry with Debo or with Brandon Ayuk. They get numbers on Kittle, and then they get numbers. Yeah. They do get numbers, but they don't have that chemistry. I don't like getting numbers and having chemistry is 2 totally different things. And you could literally see it in the Super Bowl. Like you couldn't find George Kittle. He could not find George Kittle.
Yeah, 4 yards.
He couldn't find Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
Debo, they were trying to force him the ball over and over and over and over. And it wasn't, no gaps were opening up. Now we can give credit to Kansas City's defense and Steve Spagnuolo, who deserves a ton of credit and maybe just got extended.
Chris Jones had a game.
But honestly, like I think it really comes down to having that repertoire because those plays are so tight. In the first half, the game was so tight. You could tell like little inch mistakes here, little inch mistakes there. It makes a huge difference. Christian McCaffrey, they stopped feeding him the ball in like the third. Going into the fourth a little bit. I'm like, why did they stop feeding McCaffrey the ball?
Yeah.
They're trying to feed Debo. I'm like, yo, I get you want to get Debo going, but it just didn't work.
To be honest, like the Chiefs, the defense held them in the game, and then Mahomes takes over. But they got a lot of lucky breaks too, like the punt return when it hit off the guy's foot. That's
Unlucky.
lucky, like so lucky to
Yeah,
get the
that was
ball
so
right
bad
there.
for
Bro,
yeah.
they blocked the kick. Like that's what won them the game at
That's
the
the
end.
kicker's fault. The
Yeah,
block kick.
yeah, that is the kicker's fault.
He
And
hit
then
it short. Yeah, you can't kick it
the
short.
other luck is the retardation on Kyle Shanahan's part to receive the ball in overtime. And for anyone who doesn't like understand, it's like it the new playoff rules are they both get a possession and the end whoever's the highest score wins. His thinking was okay, but in sudden death, when it goes past that, we have the ball, we're going to win. Dude, the game is not going to sudden death.
Yeah,
If you're the team with the ball at the other end, sorry, at the end of the quarter or the overtime, you're going for two. You're going for a 2-point conversion. And Mahomes
go
said
for
it
the
too.
win.
He's like, there's no fucking way we'd go to sudden death because we know we're going to lose in sudden death. So we have to go for a 2-point conversion. So I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. Very poor like coaching on his part, which was shocking. But I don't know. It made big
he made
moves.
2 huge mistakes to me: is receiving the ball in overtime and not giving it to McCaffrey in the third/fourth, in the early part of the third and fourth. I think those 2 were huge mistakes. Why aren't you giving it to your best player? And why are you trying to force Purdy to make tough plays and tough throws?
Tough
It
plays.
didn't make sense to me. It did not make sense. Brock Purdy is a nasty quarterback. Honestly, he makes some friggin' tough reads. He zips it into the right tight windows. He's going to be elite. I think there's no doubt about it. But I don't see anyone beating Kansas City even next year. I think Kansas City's going to get a top level receiver this summer.
Imagine.
So we should all be concerned about that. Because Kansas City, honestly, if you look at their entire team, Travis Kelce's going to fall off a little bit next year, right? Father Time's going to catch up to him, clearly. And then he'll start turning it up towards the end of the year, I'm sure,
Same as this year,
players do.
basically.
They need a top number 1 clear-cut wide receiver. They need one really badly. They led the league in drops this year. They have the best quarterback in the world. They led the league in drops, and they still won the Super Bowl. They're going to get another wide receiver who's not going to lead the league in drops. And it's going to change the entire game. It's going to change their entire game. Their running back, bro, Isaiah Patrick, runs the ball like he's just angry.
Nasty.
Like, I'm like, yo, he is a nasty runner. When he gets the ball, like he looks like that when he's running, right? Like he literally looks so mad when he's running. I'm like, they found the perfect running back. They just need one more top receiver, and they're going to be right back in the Super Bowl. At least AFC Championship, honestly. At least AFC Championship.
Minimum. I don't know if they'll get him because they have to pay Chris Jones. They got to pay Snead, so they got a lot of money tied up. But do they need one, bro? Like Mahomes can find anyone, man. Like, give him an inch of space, he'll find these guys.
Bro, that's if they get one. I don't know the wide receiver corps. I probably should have Googled it. Who's free agent this summer? But I know they just need one. And if they just get one, it's a problem. It's a real problem. Imagine them with Tyreek again. If they still kept Tyreek,
crazy.
Like it would be. I don't even know who would stop them. And the crazy part is, I think Tyreek, he got paid, so from a financial perspective, I'm sure he doesn't regret it. But from a playing perspective, even though he's putting up crazy numbers on Miami, he would have put up crazy numbers in Kansas City and been to the Super Bowl. I think he low-key regrets leaving Kansas City. I would if I was him, honestly.
I think for him, it was all about the money. And that's because he chose Miami because he said there was no tax, no state tax. That was the other thing.
And he's making bank.
Yeah.
He's just making bank.
It was more about the money, but it sucks to lose to them and then sit there and watch them win it year over year, too. It's like, fuck, man. Those are my guys. But
that's the thing. He chose money over legacy.
Which is fine.
He will still be a guaranteed Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be a 3, 2, 3, 4, potentially could have been, because I still think he has a few more years left, 3, 4, 5-time champ. Like he could have been Gronk. He could have been Edelman. He could have been, he could have been those guys that played with Brady. Like he really could have been that guy. He would have been known as Travis Kelce is known as a GOAT, but Tyreek Hill's never to be like a Hall of Famer. So
yeah, crazy game. Probably one of the better Super Bowls I've seen in a while. Second half, at least, is what I would say.
Yeah.
Can't even think of the last good one before that. Like, because it was.
There's a few good ones. The worst one was the Rams and Bucks.
Yeah.
Or
not the
Rams and Bucks. Oh my God. Who was it? The Rams and Patriots.
Fuck yeah, it was 13-3. But like, 13, I don't like low scoring Super Bowls, but this one it just kind of came alive at the end.
I feel like all Super Bowls are low scoring, man.
Yeah, you're right. I don't like how Kansas City was the underdog in every round, even the Super Bowl. Like, I don't understand what everyone was thinking.
I saw a tweet about that that perfectly explained it. He's like, yo, if all you people are complaining that the Kansas City Chiefs are underdogs, just bet on them.
Yeah, I did.
If you're able to, just bet on the Chiefs. If you were like, oh, why are they underdogs? Dude, why are you complaining? Put 10 racks. If you really believe the Chiefs were overlooked and didn't deserve to be underdogs, put all your money into it, bro.
It's strange. Yeah.
Right?
Bro, I made bank this entire playoffs every round, but it's like, you just don't understand. You know, when you just sit there shocked sometimes, like, what the fuck has to happen for these guys to get a little bit of respect? They have to win it all. And then after, this is what pissed me off the most. After they won it all, the odds for next year's Super Bowl winner, the best odds were for the 49ers. They were favored.
Of course. But you have to look at it from a statistical perspective, bro. That team is stacked. Top to bottom, they're stacked.
They just lost.
Doesn't matter. Like, it was like, you know that one of those things, the roster to roster, the 49ers kill the Chiefs. Roster to roster. Like, pound for pound. But on the field, you don't have Pat Mahomes. There's that X factor that no stats can measure, right? That X factor is Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid. So those X factors, like, how do you really measure it aside from the fact that you just consistently win Super Bowls, which I guess is the most important stat.
Wait, what the fuck? Yeah, that's how you measure it. You measure on playoff wins and Super Bowls.
But I get the Vegas odds are actually literally based on stats. So if they look at the team, they're like, okay, which team statistically has better players? 49ers have better players. Player for player, position by position. If you go one, like, you just go down the roster,
two or three 49ers are way better players. 2 or 3 significantly better players.
But Andy Reid makes better decisions. Like, I don't know how they measure that. Andy Reid makes better decisions, aside from winning. Andy Reid makes better decisions than Brendan Shanahan.
Yeah.
He fucked Kyle Shanahan. Brendan Shanahan. I'm thinking of the
hockey player.
The hockey player. Holy. You know, when you make that, I'm like, Kyle Shanahan, you dickheads. I made a mistake. We all make mistakes in life.
Yo, trust, they go hard on the comment. You can't say a single thing wrong.
Casual. That's the problem today as well. Everyone loves to, like, flex their knowledge of sports. Like, dude, I've been watching sports 20 years. Since some of you were in diapers, I've been watching. When you were a sperm cell, I was watching sports. So calm down a little bit when I make prudent slips here and there, say the wrong. One time I called Jalen Williams Jamal Williams. And the comments are like, casual. I'm like, you idiot. I was watching Detroit Lions highlights. That's why I said Jamal Williams. Like, they somehow connected it as if I was like casual. I'm like, man.
Bro, I don't know. This isn't first take or first things first. We're just going off the dome. There's no prep. There's no paper here. You know what I mean? There's no notes.
We just know, like, a general idea of, this happened this week.
And this game happened last week. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're not right on the fucking ball the next day. Y'all got to relax a bit.
Yeah, all the crap talking. He called Jalen Williams Jamal racist. I'm like, whoa. Firstly, Jamal Williams plays for the Lions, and I was literally watching his highlights before the game. He doesn't play for the Lions now, but he did. I was watching this. He led the league in touchdowns last year, and then this year had only one. Couldn't believe that shit.
What do you think of the Kyle Shanahan record where he's lost 3 Super Bowls when he was up 10?
I think it's a weird stat. He just lost. He's played the Chiefs twice. No, who did he play third?
And Brady. 28-3 was him.
Yeah, so, like,
it's rough,
man. It's just rough. Yeah, can't knock the guy. A little weird that he didn't tell his players about the overtime rule, and they weren't clear on it. You should, as a coach, you got to go through all the potential scenarios. You can't leave any stone unturned. So I think he left one stone unturned, and that was overtime. And I don't blame him because I don't think many Super Bowls ever go to overtime. But at the same time, you should have just covered it. And, like, it takes 5 minutes. You're like, guys, if we go to overtime, let's receive, let's kick the ball, let's defer, so that when we get the second chance to score, we could win. If they score,
he stood behind his choice to receive. So no matter what, if they knew the rules on it, that was still his decision to receive. Like,
I'm 100% sure. Kyle Shanahan knew the rules. 100%.
Yeah. He wanted that.
But I don't think he went over it, and even in 10, 15, like those team meetings, I don't think he gave it even 2 minutes of thought. He's like, guys, we go to overtime, receive the ball, let's go for the win. But I think, like, some of the guys should have said, okay, and they probably thought in their head, he said, let's receive the ball, let's win. They probably thought he meant, if we get a touchdown, we win. Which is like, you should know that. Everyone knows that. That's a huge slip, honestly. And if you don't know that, then you're actually a casual, because they changed that rule after the Bills
one
got snaked a few years back. So I
Did they
mean,
get snaked? Tom Brady was talking about this because he's like, I don't like the rule change. He's like, I don't like this fairness game of you get the ball, I get the ball, you get the ball. It's like I think it's
I disagree
bullshit.
with him. I
Yeah, he
love
was.
it.
I think it's fair. You shouldn't let a coin toss dictate your fucking
Exactly.
season.
We're
But
letting a coin dictate like livelihoods.
his
That doesn't make
logic was like
legacies.
his logic is you as a competitor have to go out there and win the fucking game, whether it's your defense or your offense.
Okay, that makes no sense because you're going out to win the game. Both teams are going out to win, and now they both get a shot to win.
No, that's what
Versus
he
one
said.
team
That's
gets
why
a
he likes
shot.
sudden death. He likes sudden death because it's just that's what it is. It's not a fairness
More
thing.
pressure.
Fuck your fairness. Yeah, it's pressure.
It's like
But
golden goal versus the new extra time rule in soccer, right? Golden goal before was amazing. You get that one goal and everyone goes crazy. Like
I
it
agree
is a
with that
beautiful
more
rule.
though. I like that.
I agree with that too.
Yeah.
I hate the new rule in soccer, the 2 extra overtimes. It makes no sense. Why do you have 2 extra times? If a team scores, why are you giving the other team another shot?
Yeah,
Soccer is
yeah.
not like football. You really have to earn that goal.
Exactly. Yeah.
That goal is very hard to score. So if you earn that goal, why does that team get another 15, potentially 20 minutes to score? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Golden goal should be brought back.
I don't know if you saw this. Patrick Mahomes, who was it? No, Kelsey was talking about. He's like, in overtime, you get 4 downs as a quarterback. There is no punt. So it's like when you give Patrick Mahomes an extra down, he's like, there's no fucking chance we're losing this game. He's like, we know we're winning this game. I'm like, yo, I never actually thought of it that way. That's crazy. Because like,
you have to
technically,
go for it.
Yeah, you could, but you could do that in the regular. You know what I mean? If it's four to like 5, you could still do that.
Dan Campbell.
Yeah,
Dan Campbell's favorite. That's Dan Campbell's logic. Literally, Dan Campbell's logic. He goes for it all the time. Unless they are deep in their own half, he always goes for it. And they fake it a lot too. So you gotta have big balls, bro. That's what it comes down to as a coach.
They got him there too, so he can't really talk shit.
Yeah, I mean, look, they got to the NFC Championship. I think Detroit should be a favorite to potentially be back in the Super Bowl. They have a great team, a good young team, which is huge in football. A good quarterback who's right in his prime. A good defense now. They're gonna get even better. If I'm the Lions and I'm a Lions fan, I'm really excited. They got a really good team.
Mm-hmm. You want to go to All-Star Weekend?
Oh yeah, All-Star Weekend. We can go over that pretty quickly.
I feel like this is like the worst marketed All-Star Weekend ever. Because 1, I barely knew it was coming up. 2, I'm like who's in any contest? I don't know. You know what I mean? I just know Sabrina Curry
is in the dunk contest. Obi Toppin's brother. And that's all I know off the top of my head. Shaden Sharp, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. This is a boring ass weekend now. They've completely like that is their fault.
Lost its mystique. And the reason it's lost its mystique, and I blame LeBron James for this, is that no superstar player is ever going back into the dunk contest.
How's that LeBron's fault? Because he didn't do it.
Because of that one time in Dallas where he promised he would be in the dunk contest, like the next year going into Dallas's All-Star game, and then he flopped.
That doesn't dictate everyone else's moves.
LeBron owns everyone in the NBA. Whatever LeBron says goes, as Pat Bev says.
He didn't say you guys can't do it. He's like, I'm not going to do it.
It's the standard. He set the standard of the best. Look at in the 1980s, MJ did the dunk contest.
Kobe after.
In the 90s, Kobe did the dunk contest. In the early 2000s, a lot of the good players did it. Jay Rich did it. Vince Carter did it. Andre Iguodala did it. You had players just really good players doing it, not just like bums. Now you got guys in the G League who I respect, and I'm glad they're making money doing it. But the casual fan has no clue who Obi Toppin's brother is. I don't even know his first name. I just know it's Obi Toppin's brother. Mac McClung, everyone knows because of his IG fame. Mac McClung is like a deadly dunker, but does he really deserve it aside from the fact of his name? Like, it doesn't make sense. Why isn't Zion doing it? Why isn't Ja doing it? Why didn't LeBron do it? Why aren't all these great players? Zach LaVine did it back before he was a really good player. But why aren't these guys doing it? Like we need that as fans, bro. We need we need to watch superstars play. Like I pay money, hard-earned money, to watch superstars do their thing. I don't pay to watch Toppin's brother do it. I don't pay to watch Mac, which is funny because I paid to watch him play a few years ago. But I don't pay to watch Mac play. Like, I just don't. So why am I not getting the best players as a fan? right? Like I don't understand this logic. Why Zion can do it? If you're scared Zion's going to hurt himself, look, Zion's not going to hurt himself dunking. It's what he does. If you watch Warrants, he's doing 360 windmill. He does that in the dunk contest. He's getting a 50. So
Yeah.
why isn't Zion doing it? Jaw's hurt. I understand, but there's a lot of other superstars that could or should do it. Why isn't Ant doing it?
I want to see
Right?
Ant.
Like,
Yeah, I want to see Ant do it. I don't
need
know.
a
I feel like
superstar in there,
it's
man.
also at a point where all the dunks have been done. You know what I mean? Like it's been just years
Still,
of the same bullshit
still.
over and over. So the 3-point contest is the new thing now. So they've done the Sabrina Curry thing, which I'm really nervous Sabrina's going to choke it.
I'm excited for that,
Yeah.
but I don't want that to be. That's like, oh, I can't wait to watch Sabrina shoot threes.
Yeah, well, that's
What?
the league now. The league's about shooting threes, so that's the main event, I guess.
Bro, Zion or LeBron, if they did the dunk contest, right? LeBron is prime, and he just did one of his nasty windmills, like for almost the free throw line. That's a 50. Zion, the way he does a classic 360 windmill is alone to get a 50 because we don't see someone that big, that powerful, that strong do that. So that's a 50, even though it's a repeated dunk. So I don't really like that argument because Zion, the way he dunks, when he does some crazy dunk, I'm like, whoa, I ain't never seen someone that big, that strong do that. So like that's the exciting part is that he looks super unique when he dunks. Jaw, same thing. When he's healthy and he's dunking, he looks like he's freaking gliding in midair. Ant, same thing. He looks like he's gliding in midair. Like the way they dunk is all different. Like Vince Carter is the best example. His windmill was so clean.
Vince Carter was doing new dunks though. Back then, those were new dunks.
The 360 windmill is a new dunk.
The elbow.
But the elbow is a little, in my opinion, one of the most overrated dunks.
Yeah, but he was first. When you're first, it's
a little overrated. But his between the legs was just so smooth. His windmill was so beautiful, man. He made it look so nice. I want to see Zion try to do that. I want to see Ant do that. Like just as a fan, why don't they do it just for the fans? You're not making basketball as exciting as it used to be. Shooting threes is great, but at the same time, my personal opinion, shooting threes is low key ruining basketball at the lower levels. High school, middle school, elementary school. I go coach and watch these kids and ref them all the time, and everyone's dashing it up from like 3-4 feet behind the 3-point line. Ball movement is like just try to find the shooter right away. I'm like, yo, I don't understand. Like people's fundamentals are lacking. They're trying to shoot from 4 feet behind the 3-point line, but they can barely hit a mid-range jumper. It doesn't make sense to me. Like I get it. You want to be
it's the same percentage. That's why.
But it doesn't learn how to shoot mid-range and work your way back. I feel like these kids are learning to shoot from 4 feet behind the 3 and working their way up. It doesn't make sense. It's not going to work. It's really ruining basketball. Fundamentals there's like the top talent in basketball is still elite, but the mid-range of talent is really falling off. These kids just want to dash it up. Even when you go play pickup now, like you'll see the big, strong, chubby guy, instead of going in the post, he's trying to jack up threes from the corner.
Say his name, bro. Say our boy's name. calling him out.
Yeah, seriously, bro. All these guys, man, all these big guys, like you can go in the paint, you can make some layups, get some easy buckets, but they're all just dashing threes. I'm like, what happened to basketball, man? There's like it's not, and it's not even team ball anymore. It's find whoever's open for 3 and just jack it up. I'm like, what?
It's hero ball.
The Curry effect, man. That's why Curry affected the game. Whether you want to look at it positively or negatively, I think you have to look at like the level of.
I think he made it like very different ends of the spectrum. Now you're either really bad because you're not learning the fundamentals, but when you're good, you're fucking good. You know what I mean?
The top talent now is unbelievable. Like the top high school talent, the top college talent is all unbelievable. Like they're way more skilled than even 15 years ago. But like I said, the mid-level and low-level talent, like they are nowhere near. They just don't have the fundamentals. And they all just want to jack it up. They could all kind of shoot, but being able to kind of shoot is really bad. Like you're just trying to jack it up and find a 3. I'm like, man, this is an analytics problem. This is a Steph Curry problem, and this is a Warriors problem because they got the best shooters in the world, and everyone thinks they can be Curry and Clay.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So I think All-Star Weekend's kind of. Bro, I'm not even excited. I barely knew it was coming on. I'm going to watch, but I doubt I'm going to pay full attention. The UFC's on that night too, so I feel like more of the attention is going to go there for what is a fucking stacked UFC card, like underratedly stacked.
Definitely, I'm not. If they're running at the same time, usually they find a way to make it work.
Yeah.
But if fights are running the exact same time as, like, let's say the 3-point contest, I'm 100% watching the UFC fights. I'm sorry. Like, there's
Yeah.
no chance I'm picking basketball All-Star weekend over the MMA fights that are at this high level. There's no way. I don't think any sports fan should pick that. Why would you pick, like, Ilya Topuria versus Alex Volk is a crazy fight.
Crazy.
And then the undercards are even crazier. Like, you start off with Ian Gary and Jeff Neal. That's a crazy fight. Who's the second main event?
With Henry Cejudo and
Henry Cejudo and Merab. That's a crazy fight.
That's insane.
That's an insane fight. Like,
that could be
that's better than
a co-main. Yeah. Then you have Whitaker Costa. Like, bro, this lineup's insane. It's not even hyped well.
I hope Costa made weight. We have to check if he made weight. That dude always struggles to make weight, bro. It's right now, so I hope he makes weight. You never know with that guy, bro. He's huge. And Robert Whitaker is the most underrated champion ever. He does not get the love he deserves.
He might be washed. At this stage of his career, he might be, because he got Topuria destroyed him. Like,
Duplessis.
Huh?
Duplessis did not. Duplessis.
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
Duplessis
went to work on him.
No, Robert Whitaker got caught. I think he didn't realize how good of a striker Duplessis is. Duplessis actually, people think I actually thought when I watched him just in the UFC before doing any like research about him, I'm like, oh, I think he's a really good grappler because he took down Darren Till and made him look like sunned him. What's his face? Derek Brunson couldn't take him down. He struggled heavily against him. So I thought Duplessis was a grappler. You Google his resume. This guy kickboxed before he was an MMA fighter. So I'm like, oh, damn. When I learned that, I'm like, I think Robert Whitaker might have overlooked that and didn't realize how good of a kickboxer he really is. But Duplessis is just, I think it's a testament to how good Duplessis is, not a testament to Robert Whitaker being washed. No such thing as Robert Whitaker being washed. I think Robert Whitaker is too talented. His movement is
man.
Still elite movement. He's elite. He's elite grappler too, by the way. I don't think Whitaker is just the third best 185er in the world now. Maybe a fourth, I guess. So I still think he's better than Strickland. I think Robert Whitaker against Strickland, I'm taking Robert Whitaker 9 out of 10 times. The only guys that I would say are guaranteed better are Izzy and Dracus. That's it. I don't think anyone else.
The thing is, like, when you're a like long-term champion, like you saw it happen to Tony Ferguson, you just you'll hit a losing streak. Like, there's a point where your career isn't what it used to be, and if you lose this to Costa, it's like, yeah, he's probably done, bro. He's not getting his shot again.
If he loses, he's probably won't get a shot again, but I don't think he's going to lose. I think Robert Whitaker is going to give Costa big trouble. Robert Whitaker's movement is so elite; it's so hard to time a guy like that. Costa's not going to be able to just. I think he's going to be even more cautious now after getting knocked out by Dracus. So you're not going to be able to touch Robert right now. His movement. He has a very karate stance. He's always on his toes. He's kind of like a mix of Wonder Boy and like Izzy a little bit because he's always on his toes. Always on his toes. He jab and move, hit or move. And I don't think Costa that works well for Costa. I don't think it's going to work well. Costa's a brawler. Costa wants to get in there, get in tight, and throw in heavy hands. I don't think that's going to work against Robert. Like, Robert's going to stay on the outside, throw his kicks, throw his nice shots, and move. Stick and move. And I think that's a bad match for Costa. I don't think it's actually going to be like a war of a fight because Robert Whitaker's not. He's like I ain't going to no wars. Which
go to decision.
Either if I was him.
It's a decision. I think it'll be a decision.
I bet Robert Whitaker wins a decision. I don't know if it's 3 or 5 rounder. I think it's
just co-main, so I'm assuming 5.
If it's a 5 rounder, even better for Robert Whitaker. Costa's tank has always been questioned.
He's kind of Ronaldo looking pretty boy. He's not really like you know.
He's sick though. He's a beast, but
Izzy, I've only seen him lose, bro. I saw Izzy fucking hump him. Then he kind of fell off after that. He wasn't really fighting.
That was one of his worst performances. I'm not gonna lie.
Fucking bodied.
But him versus Yoel Romero was an unbelievable fight. That was a brawl.
I also don't like Yoel Romero because this guy stood for fucking 5 rounds against Izzy and just like what's it called? Mortal Kombat. You know when they start the fight and you just kind of like hopping back and forth.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Izzy's ruining careers for me.
It's not that. Yoel Romero, man, went to 2 wars with Robert Whitaker, and those wars were fucking crazy. And I don't think he wanted to go through a war with Izzy. So I think that's why he came in and was like, fuck this. Whoop.
War, bro, he didn't go through a fight. He didn't do anything. You and me could have got as many fucking shots he did.
Against Izzy, yeah. Well, I'm not saying against Robert Whitaker though. Yoel Romero had 2 wars, so
Oh,
I think that took a bit out of them. That's why I don't think Robert Whitaker is going to go through a war with Paulo Costa. Like, it makes no sense for him. He's been through wars with Yoel Romero. He just got knocked out by Drakus. If I'm his coach, I'm like, stay on the outside. Don't fucking go. Don't play on the inside. Stay on the outside. Stick and try to move. Hit and run. Hit and run. And then, like, do not try to get on the inside like you did against Yoel Romero a little bit. And don't try to engage and go through war. No. I would keep it bland, keep it boring, stay on the outside, get your win, and go home. Because, like you said, if he loses, it's probably done.
It's over, yeah. What do you think of the Cejudo versus Merab fight? The records are pretty similar. Merab's on a roll. Yeah, Merab's
going to beat him. Yeah, Merab's going to beat him. It's Merab's time. Merab is a low-key, like, a superstar in the making. He's kind of funny.
He is funny. Winner fights Sugar Sean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So
you would think. You never know, because Sugar Sean picked fucking Cheeto, who's number 6 ranked, which makes no fucking sense.
It's the rematch narrative.
Yeah, exactly. I understand why, like, from his perspective, but from a competitive perspective, it makes no sense. It honestly makes no sense.
Should have been Merab.
Yeah, and Merab's gonna fuck up Cejudo. I think Cejudo's time is done. I'm taking Merab. I think Merab's gonna actually finish him too. I think it's gonna be the clear-cut end of Cejudo's legendary career.
Shouldn't have came back. Shouldn't have came back to lose twice. I feel Merab said, "I'm not wrestling him." He's like, "I'm not wrestling this guy. He'll beat me in wrestling." He's like, "I'll kick his ass."
Fucking Olympic gold medalist.
It's a fucking tired of hearing that. It means nothing to me. Literally, like, this is the UFC. It's different. You know what I mean?
It is different. MMA wrestling is different than real wrestling, but having real wrestling definitely helps you enormously in an MMA fight.
But so does having a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Like, then you see Sterling go to the jiu-jitsu competitions, doesn't win. Did he win? I don't think he won.
He beat the guy. What's his name? Hooper. Chase Hooper. He beat Chase Hooper.
There's some guy. Remember, there was that big beef where he just kind of started the fight on his back, and Sterling's like, "Get the fuck up."
Yeah, jiu-jitsu competitions are going to be like, they're going to have to try to figure out a way to make it more entertaining so that the casual
just don't start like that. You have to get a takedown. It's that simple.
Yeah, but I don't think MMA wrestling is completely, like, light years different than real wrestling. Because first, you got to worry about getting kneed, punched, and kicked. Like, this is not the same. Habib is the GOAT MMA wrestler. It's not even close. I think him and GSP are number 1 and 2. And it's funny because neither of them are actually natural wrestlers. GSP, I think, didn't even wrestle in high school or only wrestled in high school. And Habib wrestled, but, like, wasn't like an Olympic level wrestler. Yeah, but MMA wrestling, I think, number 1's about timing, understanding when to go for takedowns, like, and picking that perfect time when a guy's looking for a kick, looking for a shot. So you never know. Like, I think the best wrestler in MMA right now is Aljo. Like, I would say Aljo. I don't see anyone better than Aljo, but I actually think Merab is a really good, because he's training with Sterling. Yeah. He's a really, really tough matchup for Cejudo. Like, Cejudo's he's not faster than Merab. He's not stronger than Merab. He's just a better wrestler. And I think Sterling is going to help him, Merab, who's his best friend, in understanding how Cejudo wrestles. Merab's an easy win for him.
Stuff him. Yeah, I think Merab's. It's not going to be he's going to try and avoid the ground, I think. He's going to keep just soft takedowns, keep him on his feet, and knock him out. We'll see. Who do you have in Ian Gary versus Jeff Neal? I'm assuming Ian Gary.
Unfortunately, Ian Gary. I think Ian Gary is a really good striker, man. I got to give it to that guy. He's
a good fighter, bro.
Matchup for a lot of 170 guys. Yeah, he's an elite striker. He's going to struggle against other 170 guys that can grapple, like Shavkat, Bilal.
Shavkat's just
Kobe.
League of his own.
Those 3 guys he's actually going to struggle against.
Kobe?
Striking? Yeah, he'll struggle against Kobe. Kobe, clean, healthy Kobe that grapples, he'll struggle against.
I think he's washed.
I think so too. I'm not going to lie. And Kobe's kind of a weird personality with his heel persona, but Kobe versus Ian Gary is that classic contender versus gatekeeper fight now. But I think Kobe's a very good gatekeeper. He's not like Tony Ferg or guys that are clearly past their prime. I think he's a little washed.
He's kind of like Usman, but actually no, Usman was better when he fought Chimaev.
Yeah, Usman versus Hamza was a sick fight, man. Yeah. Usman showed that pedigree because he did not panic.
Yeah.
A lot of guys would have panicked in that first 5 minutes. He did not panic.
Said he basically proved he's not washed. Because everyone's like, "Oh, is he the same guy anymore?" And then he's fighting Hamza at a higher weight class, and he held his own. It was pretty sick.
Honestly, what makes Usman so sick is he basically has he basically has no knees.
He has no knees.
But he's had no knees for the last 5 years. He understands
Crazy.
how to fight without his knees. Like, he
Yeah.
just gets it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he understands how to move and how to fight without his knees. I think it actually really affects his grappling. But you saw it against Hamzat. Hamzat took him down the first 5 minutes and just swarmed him. But he didn't panic at all, bro.
At all.
Just pure championship confidence, pure elite level confidence. Weathered the storm, weathered the storm, weathered the storm. Second round comes, he put it on Shemaev. Third round comes, he really put it on Shemaev.
But to be fair,
I thought Hamzat like kind of didn't deserve to win. Like, I'm like, yo, the second round Hamzat kind of won. The third round, Usman won by a mile. Like, it was a clear 10-9. Clear.
Apparently his hand was broken. Hamza's hand was broken after the first round. Apparently. Who knows? But apparently.
Like, I just don't love when that stuff comes out, man. Like, yo, it's a fight. You don't use it as excuse. Like Colby Covington said,
he still won
against Leon, right? Like, I'm like, dude, your hand broke, and I understand it, but you're both fighters, okay? So if your hand's broke, you at the end of the day, this is you got to be able to fight through your hand breaking. I'm sorry,
he did. Crazy. No, he did, right? And he won the fight. He didn't dominate. Like,
don't use it as an excuse. Don't use an excuse because what was your lack of engaging was because your hands broke. Dude, at the end of the day, you're fighting for a championship. You may never fight for a championship again. You might as well throw that broken hand into the guy's face. And I know it sounds crazy, but this is the fight game. This is not basketball. It's not.
I think football. He did. I think he did. And I think he didn't use it as an excuse. It just kind of came out after. It doesn't matter when you win. It doesn't matter when you win. The excuse is
for Hamzat is not as bad because he won.
Yeah.
So for Kobe, when he came on as an excuse, I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, Kobe's full of shit. Actually, I want to ask you something. So UFC 300, the fact that the main event's not done is starting to get a little concerning because they're selling tickets, I think, today. I think today this tickets go on sale. There's no main event. The rumor, you're gonna be heated if you haven't heard.
Leon, I know.
Hamzat.
Yeah.
Bro, the snake Bilal when you've publicly said he has next is fucked.
Hamzat's not going to do it. Fucked. He already said no.
It's can't do it because of the U.S. stuff. I think that was holding it up. Dude. They're trying to get him in.
He's not going to fight after Ramadan. Impossible. UFC 300 is I'm almost like 100% sure, like 4 days after Eid, which means he'd have to train all of Ramadan, and he is not doing that.
You don't think so?
Impossible. Bilal will do it. Bilal's different because Bilal's like, yo, I've always trained during Ramadan. I don't care. Like, I just changed my schedule. So, which actually kind of works because Ramadan in North America is done at like your fast breaks at 6:30.
He's in Russia.
Let's say you do like you sleep really late at night and you wake up pretty late in the day, which is I think what a lot of fighters do anyways. You're only fasting like 4 or 5 hours. It's not
that's cheating. Bad. That's cheating though. Aren't you supposed to be up in prayer?
No, you're not cheating because it's your career. You're not like he's not doing it to try to snake fasting. That's not his goal, which some people do. His goal is, I'm a fighter. I fight at 11, 12 o'clock. I got to get my body adjusted to that time period to be.
That's cheating, bro. That's not cheating.
No, that's not cheating. Why is that cheating? For him, it's not. It's all intention. His intention, that's his career, bro. Like, if it was me, that's cheating. Because I work
put this above everything, no? Is that the whole
I work from 10 to 6, right?
Educate the audience in the sense that aren't you doing this to show your devotion to God? So if you're moving it and prioritizing your career over your devotion,
he's not moving it. He is moving.
You're saying he's sleeping.
He's praying. He's still going to pray his first, second, and third prayers on time, which is the most important thing, and then obviously the fourth and
go
fifth.
Back to sleep.
No, so he would sleep basically after the first prayer, which is supposed to be in the morning, which would be like 4. I don't know where he lives in Chicago, so maybe 4 or 5. Then he's sleeping from 5 to like 1, 2, maybe 3.
You go back to sleep. Okay.
Yeah. Then he wakes up, prays the other 2 prayers, and then he's fasting 5 hours. It's still fasting. He's having no water, but he's training maybe a little before fasting and then a little after fasting. And then he's going to the night prayers and doing that every day. He has to do that though, because if he's probably doing that anyways, because as a fighter, you got to adjust your biological clock to be able to perform later in the day. Like, you're not trying to be in your peak form at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That makes no sense. Why? Because especially if you're fighting at 11 or 12 their time, right? It doesn't make sense. I don't think that's cheating at all. Hamzat and those guys, they don't do that. They From what I've understood, they fast from like they get up at 9, 10 and are fasting till 7, 8. They're not switching it up at all. And that's not like, I don't think that's a problem either. And I don't think what Bilal's doing is a problem. It's a preference. And Hamzat wants to be fully devoted to religion and during Ramadan, which is what you're supposed to do. I'm not saying
But
Bilal isn't.
that's
Bilal's
why.
training though.
Yeah,
Bilal's training.
but
So
Hamza technically could do what you're saying Bilal is doing,
he
but he's
100%
not.
could.
He's
He's choosing not to.
he's putting his devotion or whatever it is called above his training and his career, which what I think you're supposed to do.
Bilal does that too, but Bilal's saying, I've always trained Ramadan anyways. My body's used to it. Remember, Hamza lives across the world, so the adjustment time doesn't work the same as Bilal's. Bilal lives in North America. That's what I'm saying. So he doesn't have to adjust anything. He can time it. Hamza has to like 7 hours ahead, 7 hours behind, and has to figure out like, okay, I got to be training at like this time. Doesn't make sense, right? Because he technically would be fighting. If he trains in UAE, at 5 a.m. UAE time is when he would fight in the US. He ain't training at 5 a.m. UAE time, bro. He should. He'd have to shift everything to the US. He'd have to say, okay, I'm moving camps. I'm going to fight in the US. I'm going to train, in the US. I'm going to have camp in the US. I get it for him. It doesn't make sense. I'm going to have to shift my whole life. Nah, I'm not doing that. Like, I'd rather just devote my time to religion. That's why it's easier for Bilal to do it, because Bilal's in Chicago. So Chicago, Wisconsin, like he's not leaving.
Bilal's in Dagestan.
He's not right now. He's in Chicago. But yeah, I'm sure he will go to Dagestan. But same thing. I don't think Habib's gonna be like, yo, like, Ramadan's Ramadan, bro. I gotta be fully devoted to God. I don't know. That's what I would say if I was Habib. I'd be like, yo, I don't know if I can give you 120% like I could if this was after Ramadan, because I gotta be devoted to God. They get 1 month a year to be like, they're always devoted, but to be locked into religion. So it's different. It's not like a problem what Bilal's doing. It has no effect religiously. It's just he may not be able to train with Habib and stuff, which kind of sucks for him. He needs that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like Dana's doing everything in his power to not make that fight, the Leon Bilal fight, because that shit was decided months ago. He promised it to Bilal, right? So to not announce it when your tickets go on sale today, it's like you're avoiding it. It's your backup.
Ridiculous. And Bilal has earned. I've never seen a guy that deserves it more than Bilal. Like, Bilal truly, truly, truly deserves it. He's beaten everyone there is to beat. He beat. Everyone was saying Gilbert Burns deserved it. Gilbert Burns should be next, and Gilbert Burns is the next champ. And he beat Gilbert Burns, and I don't care what happened. He walked into the fight with like basically almost broken his ankle and beat the crap out of Gilbert Burns. So he's beat Wonder Boy. He's beat Vicente Luque. Like, he's beat everyone that you didn't think he was going to beat. What else does a guy need to do to get a title shot? Like, forget the fact we're from the same country and all that. Like, I get it. He's, from a general fan perspective, they're like, he's kind of corny. But
no, he's boring.
Knocked out Sean Brady. No one on earth expected that. I wasn't even there. I'm like, yo, Sean Brady's a really good fight. That's a tough fight for Bilal to take. He knocked him out. Like,
yeah, so but you have to look at it from the casual fan perspective. The casual fan might not know who Sean Brady is. They want to see him beat one of the guys who have fought for the title, right? Like a gatekeeper almost, right? To make it. The thing for me is like, Dana White is one of those guys who basically says once you have his word, he'll never go back on his word. You know what I mean? And we're watching him literally fucking struggle, or try to not keep his word, which is to me, it rubs me the wrong way. But he knows 300 has to be a fucking massive card, and Bilal and Leon aren't sellers.
They should be co-main though. Like, if Hamza's not gonna do it, put those guys at co-main.
Announce it, just announce it. Like, why not announce it?
I think he's gonna wait to see results from Volk and Taporia. That's what I think.
I think it's Izzy and Duplessis.
That could be the main event, for sure. But I think he also wants to see what happens with Volk and Taporia. Like, what if Taporia knocks him out in 5 minutes? What if Volk beats him in 5 minutes? And Volk's like, I'm ready to go.
Who's Volk fight after? Islam? Like, Islam's not going to do it. The only fight we care about is Islam. And that's done.
You never know. Volk could fight anyone between 135 to 155, even not 170. So, there's a lot of guys he can go. He can go
after the Islam fight. He should just stay in his weight class, or properly train for that. Don't take it on a rush again.
I mean, he was clearly out of shape. He looked a little chubby.
Yeah.
He looked like his timing wasn't on. I actually feel like Volk in shape and in prime could beat Islam. He
We
really
saw
could.
him.
Like
We saw him.
very close. And
Yeah.
he took it as of, yo, this is my last opportunity. I get that, man. You got to respect him. That's why you can't talk crap. I'm not going to say Islam's undoubtedly a way better fighter because Volk was not training. He just wasn't. He looked like he was drinking and partying. And that's kind of a slip on his part, though. That's why I'm like, yo, these Muslim guys will never lose. They don't have those binge drinking and eating days. Like they're eating days, I'm sure, but
I don't.
drinking is
Was
really, really bad for
he
you.
had a family thing? He was partying.
He was drinking.
Was he drinking?
Yeah, he
I
said
feel
I
like
was drinking every day.
he's always fighting back to back. So I feel like just to get a break, he deserves a break. But to get the call, don't take the call up then.
I think my personal opinion is you have a 6 to 7 year career window as a fighter once you get to the UFC. That's being generous. And I think you should just off drinking and partying for those 6-7 years. And if you are going to drink and party, maybe you should do it just once a week when you win and call that's it, and then just get back to the training room. Why? Like I can't. I'm not here to judge. I'm not judging him on drinking. I'm judging the fact that this clearly is going to harm your body, and you're going to go. My trainer used to say it best: drinking ruins 2 weeks of training. Which, if you think about it, is not that much. How much do you get better in 2 weeks? Not that much. You get slightly better. But if you keep drinking and you're losing 2 weeks, 2 weeks of training, yo, it's like, is that really worth it? That's why these Muslim guys, the top guys, aren't going to ever harm their body. They just don't. They don't drink. They don't smoke. They don't drink. So, like, their bodies are always fresh and ready to go.
Yeah, but then you look at someone like John Jones, who's the greatest fighter of all time, who's just doing cocaine before fucking fights.
He's the exception. He's not the norm, right? Obviously, same with Tyson. Tyson was doing coke before fights sometimes. So
I want to see these Muslim guys fight black dudes. Get the Muslim guys to fight black dudes, and we'll see. That's basically what we're saying here. Because these guys are partying, drinking, and beating the fuck out of everyone anyway. So I want to see them go against the fully devout religious ones and see how it goes.
I mean, John Jones is God-given talent. Aside from the fact he used steroids, he is pure talent, bro.
That guy used steroids, bro. Those are legal now. Retroactively, that should get revoked. You know what I mean? Retroactively, like if it's legal now. His brother
used steroids and got suspended from the NFL. Like, to me, it's like clearly his own brother. This is just facts. John Jones' brother got suspended from the NFL for performance-enhancing drugs. What a coincidence! What a coincidence! Come on, man. Like, I don't know. I think in football it's bad, but in combat sports it's even worse. I've always said this. I don't think you should take anything to enhance. Islam actually got suspended too for using steroids, but Islam's was
the Russians are the worst, bro.
They said Islam's was a clear accident or a clear mistake, and I don't know, but I don't know.
Russians, bro. The Russians got a deep history of fucking cheating to win sports, bro. Watch it. You've seen it, Chris, I think. Yeah, like that shit's fucked. Like these guys will do anything to win, which you gotta respect in a way, but at the same time,
I don't think Habib's on steroids. I don't think Islam's on steroids anymore. I don't think any of that crew, Umar, Usman, any of them are on steroids.
Wait, no, someone got suspended recently for steroids in that crew, like this year.
From Habib's crew?
Yeah, from recently. I remember this actually. It's one of the nobodies, one of the lower ranked guys.
No, it was his cousin. It was
Nurmagomedov
brother, Usman, the one in Bellator.
Yeah.
Let me Google
one of those guys. I just want to make sure. Bro. That's what I'm saying.
Let me make sure.
Can't trust it.
PEDs has been suspended 6 months and fined for testing positive for a prohibited substance.
Your boys are tainted. Your boys are fucking tainted.
That hurts. It hurts to see.
It's hard to argue at that point when someone in the crew, because you know that crew shares everything.
I don't even know what to say. I'm lost for words.
That's jokes.
I feel like I would hope that Habib is not on steroids and never was. I would hope that Umar, his brother, I don't know if it's younger or older, I think older, is not on steroids. I would hope that this doesn't take away from those guys because they did not ever get caught. Habib's been tested plenty and passed all of them. So it's hard to say he's on steroids.
Here's what I'm going to say. There's no USADA in the UAE when they do those events. There's no actual regulatory body. So I'm just going to put that out there too.
Plenty. He lived in Cali too, right?
No, I know. He fought them both. But I'm saying, like, if you're fighting the UAE, there's no one looking over whether you're doing this correctly or not. So who knows?
Look, I hope all MMA fighters understand that as a general sports fan, there's one thing that I would say deters you more than any other sport, and that's taking steroids, because you can genuinely hurt someone. You're already hurting them. So the fact that you're taking something that could truly hurt them even more, that gives you that edge above them when you're already trying to hurt each other,
Fuck them.
to me, it's like disrespect, the ultimate form of disrespect. I think you lose your credibility and your honor as a martial artist when you use steroids.
You do 100%, but hurting them is the point of the game.
No, exactly. But you're using, like, that's like me bringing a weapon. I think it's the equivalent of bringing a weapon into a ring or an octagon. There's like, you're dishonoring your sport. You're dishonoring everything you are as a martial artist by using steroids. And as fans, I think, like, that's why I always question John Jones's legacy from that perspective. I need to dig into it and see whether he actually used steroids.
This guy.
And the percentages, and it's tough to say, but it definitely hurts his legacy, in my opinion, man. It definitely hurts his legacy. Like, steroids are not the way to go in MMA. Like, I get wanting to have an advantage, but that's the most disrespectful advantage I ever seen, man.
I think even if he did steroids, it was offset by the fact he's doing cocaine the night before. So whatever, it just levels out anyway. So that evens it out.
That tells you how fucking. But at the same time, for man, he's God-given talent. Like, that guy needs to be a little crazy to fight at his best. He needs to be like whoop, dialed. Like, there's some guys that just need that extra crazy, like the Mike Tysons, the John Joneses of the world. They need that extra little switch to get them going, and cocaine gets that extra switch.
I think all top athletes have to have a little fucking insanity in their head to perform the way they do. Like, you look, even the Jordan and like Tom Brady is the same thing. They make up scenarios so they hate the guy they're playing to give them the extra push. Just made up the whole scenario. But it's like, okay, yeah, that's a little crazy if you think about it, but that's what works for them.
Yeah, and I think that's fine. I think a lot of great athletes do that. Yeah, build that fake narrative in your head to give you that extra push when you need it. You know, to give you that little bit of hate towards them. But using steroids is like really dark, and I think that's a coward's way out. And I hope John Jones didn't use steroids. If John Jones and what you're saying is true, and those steroids were like, they weren't really steroids and it was like a tainted substance, John Jones to me is no doubt to go. If that is the case,
the substance that he was caught for is now legal in the UFC. Like years later,
confirmed 100%. If you can confirm this 100%, it's not misinformation.
Like a fact, because that's what I've heard. I don't want to be held for it, though. You know, like if I'm on trial, I'm not going to 100% say it's true, but that's what I heard and read.
Then he's the GOAT. If we're going to make that assumption, no doubt the GOAT. That's the thing. It's like undoubted. The guy's only loss is from beating a dude too bad that he started doing this. He was already fucking up Matt Hamill, so he was just like, he was already kicking the shit out of him. Matt Hamill, like, was who got to respect because he's deaf, but John Jones done fucked him up, bro. It was bad. I remember watching that live too. I'm like, oh, he's fucking him up.
We're over time, but I have one question I want to ask you. I forgot to bring up. So the Olympics are coming up this year,
okay?
And everyone's talking about the steroid issue, like how it was better with steroids, blah blah blah, right? So some organization said, "Fuck it, we'll do a steroids version of the Olympics called the Enhanced Games." So all these athletes who can't compete in the Olympics because they're banned for steroid use can go to the Enhanced Games. I don't know if it's actually happening. I kind of just read about it quickly, but what do you think about a steroid Olympics?
I would love that.
Right?
That is ultimate. That is the ultimate, like, ability to see the maximum potential a human body can go.
Yeah.
And at least we all know everyone's cheating, which doesn't take away the integrity, because I know you're cheating. You know I'm cheating. Let's see who the better man wins.
Go in. It's an even playing field. You know that. Yeah.
Having that level playing field is massive and imperative in determining, like, the fairness of the competition. So if we both know that it's a level playing field, and you know I cheated and I know you cheated, let the best man win, there is no issue with that. I think the general fan would fucking love it. I'd love to watch it in like those truly athletic events like sprinting, high jump, long jump,
track and field.
Yeah, all the track and field events. That would be amazing to watch. I'll pay to watch it. And I think the general fan would friggin' love it. And then you compare it with, like, guys that didn't cheat in the Olympics, and then you see, like, oh, so this is how much better you can perform.
If you don't beat them, though, you have to beat the Olympic times. If you can't beat the Olympic times with steroids, don't compete at all. Yeah, that's fucking simple.
Exactly. Yeah. It's going to look terrible on your legacy. Like, if you go against Usain Bolt and he's clean, and you're cheating, and he just wipes the floor with you. You're
Yeah.
like, all right, yeah, he's just the GOAT. I'm just a bum.
Throw the steroids away. Get a real fucking job.
Yeah,
at that point.
it's time
Yeah.
to start fixing up that resume and applying to work. Like, yeah, there's that. I hope they do it, and I hope they allow MMA to be an Olympic sport, Olympic event. I really do. I think MMA would crush it. You can do it in a way where because MMA used to be like you fight Friday, Saturday, and Pride you fight 2-3 times in the same night. I'm not saying to do that, but you could space it out within the 3-4 weeks.
I don't know, bro.
And you could use gear. You could use gear. You can have MMA fight with extra gear. Why not? You could have extra headgear. You can have shin pads. So you can make it a little safer and go and try to make it an Olympic sport. That would be amazing. They need MMA in there, man. It's an official sport that's loved by the fans. All you need to do is make it a little safer, which they do with boxing, right, with the headgear. Do the same thing, but MMA. There's headgear that works, and there's shin pad.
That one's definitely tough, just because of the injuries. But yeah, I see what you're saying. It'd be cool to watch.
Do it.
I don't know if you can do like a tournament though. A tournament it's like how many fights? How many times you fight?
You fight 3 fights. Your opening round fight,
maybe
mid-round fight, and then final fight.
This is a good topic for next pod. Like just the new Olympic events. I think there's new ones this year in general, like flag football and shit like that. Yeah.
Holy crap! Tyreek Hill's just gonna destroy dudes.
The NFL super down for this too. They just want to promote the game. That's really smart of them,
bro. Imagine Tyreek Hill in flag football.
I guess, yeah. Just, what do you do? You know what I mean?
What do you do?
You can't do anything. You're just reaching for a flag. It's going to keep getting further and further from you while he's running. There's no shot here.
America's going to destroy everyone. Canada's going to have a good team too. You'll be surprised.
Yeah,
it'll be Canada-America final.
Well, what other team? Who else is playing? There's only 2 countries that play the sport.
Nah, you'll get a lot of teams that like pick up star athletes. Like New Zealand can probably do it. Australia, Samoa,
rugby guys, but
rugby heavy countries.
Throwing the ball. There's no quarterback.
Quarterback's gonna be tough.
Yeah, there's no quarterback. Who the fuck are you?
You're gonna have to find those guys that are dual
baseball
citizens
players
from
or
parents,
something, maybe
like dual citizens, people that are dual citizen UK, dual citizen, maybe like Samoan Islands or New Zealand, Australia. You never know. There's guys, man. There's never a shortage of talent. Or you just fake and say, you just say you're from New Zealand. Here's a passport.
There's no shortage of talent until you're up against Pat Mahomes in the Olympic gold medal game, and you've never thrown a football in your fucking life.
Pat Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, Team USA is gonna be fucked.
Yeah,
that is gonna be a spectacle. I can't fucking wait. Actually,
that's gonna be a good thing. All right, yo, good episode 19. Next week's when we hit the top 90% of podcasters. We hit episode 20. So stay tuned. I'll have a big one then. Peace.